Hey everyone, welcome back to Teenager Therapy. I'm Gael.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Mark.
And welcome back, all you lovebirds.
Wait, when is Valentine's the exact day?
The 14th.
Monday.
No, but
Oh,
like the day.
Wednesday, right?
Monday.
I think it's
It's not on
Monday. It's a
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
It is a
That's
Monday.
when I'm taking
It's a
my
Monday?
exam.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind
Ooh.
of good.
Really?
I only have one class Monday.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Can't wait to spend Valentine's with
I
you.
know, huh?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what do we do?
Podcast.
Ah,
voice.
Oh!
Well, good thing you don't gotta worry about it no more.
My fault. That's true.
Oh, yes. You're so right.
Sorry, guys.
So it's currently Valentine's Day. We didn't even...
What?
I'm dead.
We should have gotten like Valentine's gear.
Guys, we recorded 2
But
episodes
like
in the same week.
headbands or
That's
like
where we're in the same fits.
necklaces.
Yeah.
Or like something red. Valentine's is such a cute holiday. And
Tight. Oh, suddenly she loves Valentine's, bro.
Oh
No,
my
she's
God.
always loved
no,
Really? I thought you
yeah.
hated it.
Valentine's
No.
Day.
Oh, you're all about love and romance and hearts.
It's just a cute holiday. Like,
Because everything's heart themed.
yeah, everything's
Yeah.
like pink and red and white. And everybody's making like cute cakes and having
Roses.
picnics. And it's just a good time. Like,
It is
you
a
could
good
just
time.
show friends love, extra love, of course.
That's so true,
And your
guys.
significant others, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully you guys are excited
Yeah.
for Valentine's, whether you got a partner or not.
Exactly.
And all the single people, I hope the club is good. I don't know. I can't relate to the club right now.
I hope you guys enjoy your day. Nonetheless.
Yeah, and we will be your Valentine.
Yes.
I don't have one. You guys can be mine.
Heart,
Man, you're speaking too
heart.
soon, my boy.
That's true. You
That's
still
so
got a week,
true. You
2
have,
weeks.
like,
Too soon.
Two, yeah, exactly.
2 weeks.
Don't
Let's
be
not. Let's not do this right now.
Come on.
Not with that.
There's at least one man at U.S.A. that wants to be your Valentine.
Oh, there's plenty.
Oh,
my boy
There's
being
plenty.
picky.
So
He could
now you just
literally
gotta
pick from,
choose.
like, a
Yeah,
handful.
but
Being picky.
they just want sex, and I want something a little more serious.
That's true.
Damn,
They're not
it is
worthy.
your first year of college, so
Yeah.
the expectations
Yeah,
are
exactly. So I have low expectations.
low. Yeah, it's okay though. But look, if you aren't single and you're in a relationship, whether it's committed, long distance, recently engaged, or a crush, whatever, the biggest thing is, when do you break up? Healthy breakups,
Let's get right into it.
because I think people tend to wait until the relationship is on its last fucking thread to finally end it, and so they like end up on bad terms. Everyone's hurt, and it's like, why can't we decide to end it when things are still good, but we know they're not heading towards the best path?
Yeah, speaking on those types of situations, it's so difficult because like it's easier said than done.
It is. How do you let go of someone you still love? And people, I think a lot of people can't do it.
So how you're saying when it's like how or like why don't you end it when things are like not horrible but you can see them going towards the bad?
Mm-hmm.
The way I see it, because then you think of like, what if it doesn't turn out bad? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like,
Because like, well, obviously this is like varied based on the situation,
Okay,
of
okay.
course. But like, you know, that's the thing is like, when do you know?
you could solve your
Yeah.
issues. You could,
Exactly.
If you really,
That's the thing.
I think it's hard to figure it out because if you like love a person, you're gonna be there no matter what.
Yeah.
Still, even though they're not like the best right now.
you push through some terrible things for love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
People go through
terrible
that.
fucking things.
Yeah. I think like,
Yeah.
okay, so my psychology on relationships and breakups is, oh my God, I am now more aware than ever about realizing that like, even if you love somebody, it doesn't mean you should be with them. And that is so difficult to admit to yourself.
Yes.
Because you
Mhm.
see the problems, you you see all these issues, these red flags, but it is just so difficult to be like, it just has to go, because people keep hanging on and they're like, I'll hang on as long as I can, as long as this love will take me. And is that what you should do?
I thought
I don't
that's
think so.
Really? I thought that's the point.
That's what some people think. And I think I'm kind of sort of there, because it's like, as long as it's worth it to me, like if I still want to love this person and I still want to be with them, then like I guess I'll just stay with them. But it might lead to like bad breakups. It might lead to bad, unhealthy attachments. Is it the most mature decision to hang on? I don't think so, but it's definitely like easy, and I could see why people do it. You get it?
Yeah, it's just hard because I've been on the side where, like, no matter what, I'll stay on, even though at my expense I'm like compromising my values.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really tell you like when.
Oh, you're on the deep end.
Yeah, no, literally, like
Is there-
no matter what, like I think I'd stay.
No.
Just as long as
Do
you
you
like.
think-
could
As long
still
as I've been
tolerate
wrong,
them.
like cheating and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're talking about like
really?
yeah.
If they cheat on you, but then they're like, sorry, it was just once.
Hell no,
and you
that's
trust
it.
them, and they're
That's
like,
it.
I'm sorry, Mark,
But
and you love them.
Do you think that like right now you're saying you're so adamant about like no, but you're saying like this is somebody that you really truly love with all of your heart, and they're telling you I'm sorry, it was a mistake, I was in the right headspace, whatever they want to say. You're saying that like you
Fuck them,
still
like,
be
go.
like no.
Yeah,
Nah, no. Out of like self-respect, I wouldn't go back to that.
interesting. Yeah,
But if it's like things that
But if it's just one hookup,
If
it's
it was-
okay.
Oh no, we're out of that. That's no, because like I feel like that's a definitive no. Like no, that's it. You're gone.
I feel like it's just really difficult to speak on like relationships because no matter what, like obviously everyone has their rationale. Like everyone says, "Oh my god, like if I ever got cheated on, I would immediately break up with them." Like totally. Doesn't everybody think that? Like nobody goes into a relationship
Yeah,
Exactly.
believing that like, "Oh, well, I'm expecting, maybe they might cheat and I'll forget." Like everyone doesn't expect to get cheated on. And when they do get cheated on, from personal experience, I personally
Yes.
stayed.
the first person source.
Yeah, and I have my witness right here.
The creditor.
Yeah,
And like
the source.
the source, like the man
Lo and
himself.
the legend.
The man. I'm glad they're able to joke about it
Yeah.
and laugh now.
Oh my god, yeah. If it was
No
like
listeners take this
2 years
seriously.
ago, this would not be
Yeah.
possible. But like, no, but obviously, like cheating, like, but before I got into a relationship with Gail, I was like, oh no, like I can't believe people like stay in relationships with like someone who cheated on them. Like why do they have like no self-respect? Like leave the relationship. That's like so toxic.
It's harder.
It's hard, no, because
It's hard.
like when you're in love with somebody, like you just wanna stay no matter what.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get
and
that.
especially if like you're in that relationship when you're not, I guess, healed from everything. Like if you're not mentally strong and there are other things going on in your life and you have unresolved trauma and you
No
have,
support source.
yeah, exactly. Then that person basically becomes your one and only source for all of that.
Yeah.
And that makes it really hard to leave because when you leave them, you leave everything. And because I went through all of that, I was able to learn a lot from it. And instead of just, leaving the relationship and trying to find the next one or whatever, I actually realized I don't want, or like, obviously I want to be in a relationship. I mean, I say it all the time, but I know I shouldn't be in one until everything is healed. Because, I still have, my issues. And I took like a year or two of like actually being single, like not doing anything with anyone and stuff. And it was really good for me. Like I just grew a lot personally. And now I'm finally at a point where I can be in like a healthy relationship with somebody else. And that's the thing is like a lot of people don't give themselves a chance to do that. Because, I mean,
It takes a lot of self-restraint, I'm assuming.
it does, yeah. Like, I don't know.
Any tips and tricks on
Well,
how to stay
I-
single?
I don't know. Like, it's really difficult. It's like, I mean, here's the thing. People are going to do it no matter what. Like, whatever I tell you, like, ideally, a relationship should have one happy person, another happy person. They have their own shit going on. but when they're together, they're happier, right? And that's ideal, but like,
Keyword ideal.
yeah, it's not unrealistic, but it's gonna be hard to find. Because one person might have codependency issues, one person has trust issues, and like there's like all of these unresolved trauma that like they both kind of bring into that relationship, and then it's doomed from the start. And sure, you can work stuff out, but there are certain things that need to be resolved independently, you know? So codependency is like a big one, I feel like, because I was super codependent on Gael and stuff. And so because he was everything to me, and like I basically attached my entire identity to him, I didn't know who I was without him. And that's why I stayed. And by staying, I just prolonged myself the privilege and opportunity for me to actually be my own person. Basically, like, what, like, the whole reason I'm saying you really should wait on, like, a relationship, and even if you think it's not that serious, like, oh, no, I'm just dating them for fun, like, it's something really casual.
Never for fun.
Yeah, because then someone gets feelings.
Then
and
they get you flowers, and
then-
more flowers,
yeah.
and you're everything they wanted, and they say good morning and good night, and you love that.
Exactly.
But they're just friends.
But they're just friends. It's nothing serious. But then you're like doing stuff for them that you wouldn't normally do, and you're like, oh shit, I'm in too deep.
Yeah, it's the thing is, you can't be casual with relationships.
I
thought
I
that-
can't believe people do it though. I see people get into relationships like a month or two, and they're like, I don't like whatever. Fuck
like
them. I'm
no, like
how?
yeah,
How can you just not like
Yeah.
love them intensely?
yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. It's you really should wait. I really recommend it. I recommend it to everybody who does long for a relationship. That they need to wait, and you need to give yourself some time. But at the same time, getting into relationships does, give you the opportunity to learn from them too. So like, I wouldn't necessarily like say waiting is always a choice. If there's an opportunity for a relationship and you really like the person and they really like you, you can give it a chance. Just obviously it's a learning thing,
Mm-hmm.
Relationships are not easy.
Right.
So go into it considering the bad and the good, and knowing if it's worth it or not. That's how you know when you need to break up with somebody, if it's worth it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And don't trick yourself into believing like, no, it is worth it. Like, I really like them, and like I love them, and they love me. It's worth it. Like,
You still have them as a friend if you love them so much.
Yeah. Like, seriously consider, is this actually worth it? And yeah, I don't know. That's why people stay. Like, it's so, I mean, this is easier said than done. And no matter what I say, you're going to stay in that relationship. So,
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Very insightful.
very insightful.
Yeah, I mean, I just rambled on for like 5 minutes here.
That's
That was
okay.
good.
They appreciate
it.
I was
Okay.
absorbing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
One thing that like I'm like currently struggling with is understanding long-term relationships versus short-term relationships. People like to throw it out like, oh, are you dating to marry? Or are you dating just for fun? It's like, well, maybe just to grow. Because
Mhm.
I think experiencing multiple relationships is really important because it like helps you understand what you want in someone, right? And so something that I think, and I've been thinking about, is like with my current boyfriend, like, is this the type of person that I would see myself like forever in the future, whether it be like marriage or, having kids with? Is this the type of person that like I would want, that I was like ideally looking for? And it isn't, right? It's not like there's a lot of traits that I want in someone that like he doesn't currently, have. And these traits, obviously it's something I could be like, oh, over time he'll develop them, he'll get better, whatever. And for a good bit, I was like having this conflict of like, does this mean like I should not be in this relationship? Because what's the point then? Like if this isn't who I want to be with like long term, then why even stay in it? Like, why not just break up and like move along, find someone new, you know, heal, whatever. But I was also like, well, why do I like want these traits in someone? And the traits that like I was very focused on is like, I love people that are very like very driven and have like the same amount of ambition as me, and like work ethic and drive to like become more than you are now and succeed in your professional and your personal life, right? Whatever that means. So someone that's always looking to improve themselves. And you know, right now I feel like it's not necessarily there yet with, you know, my significant other. And so that's why I was like, well, why do I want those things? Is that like, I was like, maybe this is some sort of fucking like capitalist ideology that your partner needs to be this like workaholic or really like career driven person. Like, why can't it just be someone that like cares for you, is supportive? Like, maybe they're not the fucking most professionally successful person that has an incredibly successful and lucrative career, but why do they need to do that? If they are supporting you, if they're a good person, what's the point in all that? Like, isn't love just love? Like, why am I putting these expectations on another person?
And like, these expectations, are they like just professional wise or like
It's
personality?
I think it's just in general, both professional and personal. Like, I want someone to be motivated not just to work more, but to be motivated to improve themselves, right? Like, take care of their health, of their body, of their mind. That's also important. And so I was thinking a lot about that, and I even talked to him about this. I was like, you know, right now, like, I don't think you're someone I would necessarily want to like marry, or like I expected to marry or anything. But I was like, you know, at the moment, I'm not dating to marry. Like, I'm dating to find what I enjoy in people, to have someone teach me new things, someone to experience life with at this moment. And if right now he is someone that loves me and cares for me and is a good person, then that's really like all I could ask for. Like, there's no point in setting these super high expectations because it's not what the goal is. And so that really made me realize, like, you know, I shouldn't put so much pressure on my partner right now of like, oh, you got to develop these habits, you got to do this. Like, no, like, I can't change them. And even if we're not a long-term thing, it is just like a thing right now. And so however long that might be, it's fine. So that's something that I was thinking about in terms of like when to break up with someone. And at least when you're young, I think it's just when they're no longer bringing you the same joy they used to. Because you're not necessarily dating to marry or anything.
Yeah. And I think it's okay not to, you know, date to marry. I think a lot of young people go into their first relationship so determined that this is their forever. When like this is like one relationship, dude. Like, there's plenty of other people to like bring you more insight to yourself and give you more new experiences. Dating to grow is fine as long as both people genuinely feel that way. Because if one person is looking like at the relationship as like this forever thing and I can't wait to marry you and stuff, then
they should communicate that.
Yeah, they should communicate that. But at the same time, if that person, you know, has those feelings of wanting forever, and they know that their partner isn't looking for the same thing, they're just gonna lie and be like, oh no, yeah, same, me too. Like, when secretly, like, they're in it for the long run. And that's the case for like a lot of people. Is like, I mean, it makes sense, all of us do kind of want a forever thing, but it's like difficult for two people to be on the same page. Like,
I think when you're young, do you think it is? Because I feel like,
yeah,
really,
I feel like especially because you're young, because when you're young, you're infatuated, and especially if it's your first relationship, then obviously you're gonna think that one person, and since you're only have like been in love with one other person, it's hard for you to kind of imagine that there is love beyond, you know, one soulmate. And yeah, I don't know. It's definitely possible. It's just it's hard for people to get on the same page.
Interesting.
Like genuinely stay on the same page, because I know, like, I mean, this isn't on the same extent, but it's like, oh shit, wait, it's like friends with benefits. It's like, oh no, like we're just doing this for fun, no strings attached, just for the fun of it. And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. And then I catch feelings, but then I don't tell them. It's like, and then, oh, like, did you, like, have you caught feelings? I'm like, no, I have not caught feelings. Let's keep doing this. And so, like, it's in a way that is the same thing as
yeah.
the other thing.
Don't fall for that lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Do not fall for it.
People want what they want, and it's really essential to communicate that.
Oh yes, I think honestly, it's infatuations. It's so difficult to overcome, even if you think you can do it. Like, something I think about that I don't necessarily want to think about is every time I get into a new relationship, my first thought is like, what if this is like forever? Like, what if this is the one that I'm gonna marry? And then I imagine my life like marrying them. Like, wow, I could see it, but I have to be like, no. Like, no, I had to be realistic about it. Like, there's times where I think about, like, with my current boyfriend, like, honestly, I could see a life with them just forever. Like, just them, they're the one. Like, I could see it. And I'm like, no, I can't set those standards. And I have to keep reminding myself, like, whatever happens is fine. If we break up, like, and it's good that we communicated that to each other. I was like, something that I was very clear about, like, in the beginning, was like, hey, like, I want it to be that if one of us just isn't happy, like, we leave. Like, I don't want us to keep holding on when there's nothing to hold on to. Like, if we're no longer happy, we just have to leave. And so I'm glad that we're on the same page on that. And it makes it easier because I don't have expectations of us lasting forever. Or, being a long term is just whatever happens. If it does, great. But I don't like talking about it.
Do you feel like because you're always, your urge to kind of date a lot of people and, like, have a relationship with multiple people because it's like it gives you more insight and that's what you want? When do you think you'll, like, settle down? I guess, like, because
I think I have commitment issues too.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Whoa.
Because
why are you looking at me, Mark?
I don't know. Ask your dad.
Oh,
my fault.
I don't think her dad has commitment issues.
No, my fault.
Yeah.
Okay,
you
tried it. It was a good try.
No, because, like,
it.
Wrong
last
person.
episode.
No, like,
Mark,
it's okay.
I understand where you're coming from.
Last
though.
episode, we talked about
how, like, our parents.
Yeah, so it would have been
Manifest
funny
it.
if she had said commitment issues. I don't think any of us did.
But
But if there's anyone that does have them, it's me. That's why we literally talked about the concept of never. Can I commit to never? I don't know.
Is that what you're trying to do? Like,
yeah, like,
Maybe, yeah.
like, that's what I'm saying is that, like,
How will I know?
if you go into every one of your relationship only wanting a short-term thing, when do you think you'll ever be like, oh, never mind, I want this one long-term?
The thing is, I don't have expectations. I do my best
Yeah,
to keep
I know,
telling
but,
myself
like,
that.
and it's okay to, like, not have expectations, but I'm asking, like, to the extent of, like, what?
Of my love for them. That's when it gets difficult because it's like a bet that I will have the discipline to say, like, we're done as soon as I know this relationship doesn't have a future.
Well, how do you determine that?
When you realize, like, red flags, like with my current boyfriend, I've seen the ways it wouldn't work out long term, and it's like right now, like, we're good.
But don't you think that you would like there would be red flags in every
relationship? Yeah. And that's
so then
when
how do you know? Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm asking. Is that, like,
do you work through it
what
with them?
battle do you want to choose?
Yeah.
Oh, that's I have an interesting thing for that. Okay, and that's like,
God, it's so crazy because everything you're saying, I'm like, yes. I'm like, we're like the same person right
really?
now.
That's so funny. Look, that's something I think about sometimes because I forgot what you asked me. I'm sorry.
You just don't think, actually. No. Like, like, wouldn't you find red flags in every person
Okay, yes.
slash partner that you're with? So then,
Which one is, because everyone will have problems.
Exactly. That's the thing.
No one will be
That's
perfect.
what I have been realizing, is that everybody is going to have problems. It's just like, what problems do you want to deal with?
Exactly. That's literally the strategy, is you have to tell yourself, like, is this something that I can still love my partner even if this is the issue they have? Like, and that depends on your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
If my current boyfriend had, like, you know, drug abuse issues, like, I don't know, he like was physical, like anger management issues, like, or was, you know, like a bad person to certain people that are like important to me, would I be able to deal with that? Like, no, like I wouldn't. But if they're like, you know what, I don't have motivation, like right now, like I wish I do, but I don't have motivation to improve myself, is that something I could deal with? Maybe. It's not as bad, but do I have the energy for that? Maybe not. And if it's an issue like, oh, my biggest issue is that I have a hard time like sharing my feelings, that's something that I feel like I could realistically deal with, like long term, and forever like be willing to deal with that. So it really comes down to like, what are your boundaries?
Yeah.
What really drains you getting out of someone? Like, is it draining for you to constantly have to get them to open up? Or is it draining for you to constantly have to motivate them? That's up to you.
I'm just curious and like concerned as to like how sustainable your like urge for relationships is. It's like, cause I don't know, like I feel like you won't settle. And I know a lot of guys who won't settle. And
There's always someone better.
there's always someone better.
Yeah,
Oh my
there
God.
is. That's something that I struggle with.
Yeah, I feel like that's the problem, is that like you always think that there's
Someone
always
better.
gonna be someone better, and that's why you won't settle. And no one,
I
you know,
worry
and
for
that, and there's no perfect somebody. Like
Mhm.
that perfect somebody can be anyone if you really wanted to. It's just
I worry
love
for
for them.
that. I really
Yeah.
do worry for that. Like, I'm like, what if I never can end up like marrying someone or anything because I just can't settle? I always think like, no, like this issue, I could find someone without it. Like, it's like you're searching for this person that won't have the issue that you want, but they'll have another set of issues that you didn't even realize you had an issue with. So the way I have been trying to adjust my mindset is just, fuck, I lost my train of thought again. But the way I deal with it is like, first of all, I remind myself, no one's perfect. Like, there's no one better out there. I just tell myself, like, there's no one better, but can I deal with this? And even if there's no one better, can I deal with this? And this isn't what I want, then I have to be like, no, I'm going to get out of this relationship. Even if it hurts, even if I don't want to be like alone, even if I don't want to do it, like I have to. And that's just something that's like up to me, right? Like,
yeah.
just feel like there's no one better, but it's better being single than in here. That's something I think about.
Yeah. And I think it's like, it's very difficult to kind of maintain those relationships, because in a way, when you kind of go into relationships for short term, you know, like we're just here to grow from each other, it's like, okay, so when is this going to end? You know, it's like you kind of imply that there is an expiration date, and it's a little hard for like people to work through that. Not like, I'm not talking about your situation. I'm just talking generally. Like for people who do only, that's why long term and like short term can be so confusing, because people who say short term, like it just kind of implies that there's gonna be a breakup, and that's kind
A
of,
lot of people hate that.
yeah, exactly.
Why would you fall in love if
That's-
there's going to be an expiration
Yeah,
date?
that's what I've been thinking. It's like there's such a negative connotation to not being with somebody forever. When like you do bring it up with a partner or something, they just think like, so then why are we together if it's not gonna be like for the long run or something? But
Because it's like, it's fun for like the first few months, but like there's a certain point in the relationship where it goes into something much, much deeper. And it's not just this little thing where like we're experiencing life together. It's like you guys love each other.
Like,
and
you have to make a decision.
yeah, exactly. And you can't keep going in like, going through with the relationship and still be like, no, it's short term. Like eventually, I'm still open to
There
like,
has to be, like,
the idea
expectations.
of like meeting other people and stuff. it's like what's gonna happen?
That's a really good point, and I think that's like a really, really big issue with like people that are like 25 and up.
Yeah, especially.
Right? It's like
that's exactly who I was imagining.
because that at that point, in if I ever get there, like right now, me and my boyfriend have been dating for like, I don't know, like a year and a couple months, right? So it's after the year mark, like it's like, oh shit, like you're probably pretty in love, and it's been a couple months, and so I think I personally would consider long term, at least while I'm like this young, like 3 years and more. After that point, I like would be like, okay, like now we actually have to start having a conversation. Like, are we gonna keep taking away or experiencing more years of our life together? Are we and eventually commit to each other forever, or do we might want to think about like, this isn't forever, and I don't know if I want to spend even more years, even though I love you, but like I know it's just gonna work out, so I need to like grow apart. That's a hard conversation.
Yeah, it is.
But you and your partner gotta have it. And I think at least my current viewpoint is just not long-term dating or short-term dating. It's just dating to see whatever happens, like as long as you're in love.
Yeah. There's just, obviously acknowledge the complications.
Are so complicated.
Yeah, because
that's
Yes.
difficult.
Yeah, it's so difficult.
People try to simplify relationships so hard because they want it to be simple so bad. You can't make it simple. Feelings are complex, and involving another person with complex feelings, it's like it's gonna get messy. Yeah. So
like going into a relationship just for fun, or like just for fun, just gonna test it out, like just for the experience.
I can never do that. Like you're hurting them.
You
even
can't. It's just inevitably it's just going to lead into something more serious.
Yeah, and you can try and have conversations about it. You can try and be like, yeah, okay, wait, but we're both like, just dating for fun, right? Like it's gonna happen eventually. So protect yourself, and
be safe out there, guys.
Just pay attention to it.
Yeah, I do wonder like what it's like to have a relationship that only lasts like 2-3 months. I've never experienced that.
Sorry, I did not mean to like look at you.
Oh, Mark.
What happened?
A relationship that lasts 2 to 3 months.
Like I wasn't even like I didn't even realize what. Yeah,
what the fuck? I thought there was like a.
I mean, but at the time, Mark was like young. Like
so he was just dating when you're young because
we're still fucking young. Huh? Dude, you don't have to get serious about dating till you're at least 25, in my opinion.
Bro,
25 is so young.
I know, still, and now imagine 18, and we're like, are we gonna marry? Like,
I never.
No, you're not.
I never like. This is the first time I ever heard of like short-term dating, or like dating for like a short term.
You see it all as long term.
Basically, that's why.
That's how a majority of people.
That's why. Really?
Yeah, I feel like a majority of majority of people see it as long-term dating.
Oh,
like,
okay.
They date because they want a forever out of it.
Which makes sense.
It's very. I feel like it's very kind of rare for someone to be looking for something like strictly short term, not just saying it to say it, but to mean it. Like, because people say it to say it because they don't want to like stress about it. But there are people who are like, yeah, strictly this is short term. Like, and I don't know. It's very difficult to kind of maintain that at times.
Wait, are you though?
What?
Trying to date short term?
No, I'm not dating short term or long term.
Short term in the sense of like not looking for forever. That's what I meant.
I don't think it's even healthy for young people to date and think it's forever.
Like, well, it's not an argument of whether it's healthy or not. That's just human nature. That's how people love. Oh, really?
Like I don't know. I mean, speaking from like my experience, it's weird because every relationship I've been like I've been wanting to do.
Yeah, I know. I noticed you're like.
Isn't that crazy how like, why am I doing that with everybody then?
Yeah, that's why I was like, because like just a quick thing, like if you say like every person you're gonna date you're gonna marry and then you end up not doing it, I feel like it kind of just loses
its meaning,
the severity of what a big deal that is.
But I think at that point I think it's just a constant conscious choice you're making when you do say that. Like I do plan on.
But is that you committing?
Yeah.
Really? So. Like
because I never found myself being the one to break up with somebody. Like I'm always the one on the receiving end. So of course it would make sense why I would feel like that way because my intention for like every relationship that I've been is to be long term.
And it's like it's normal to feel that way.
Yeah.
Like because that's how
Wow.
love works. I mean,
Really?
when
Is
you
this my
No,
commitment
Kayla and I are
issues?
shocked right
Yeah,
now.
Kayla,
I
is
mean,
this like how
that's why I'm
normal-
like,
No,
Wait,
it's so
wait,
crazy
wait,
because Gail, we're like on the same fucking page, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is really
Well,
insightful,
yeah.
right?
Dude, I'm like shocked. I'm like, no fucking way. Like, do we just have commitment issues?
I'm
Or
just
is
saying
it
No,
wrong?
I think so. Where's Isaac? We need Isaac
Right?
to break this.
well, I think there's like okay, I'm really confused because like even in like our relationship, you didn't feel that way.
Dude, no, yeah, because I was young. Like, I thought, like, I was like, oh, you're gonna
Because I
marry
feel like
you.
the reason why Mark and I were like, you know, able to like see eye to eye to this is because we were in like our first relationship and found our like not true love, but like our first love. And when you have your first love, then obviously it's like in that relationship, don't you see us forever? Because at one point you did see us forever,
okay.
and that's why.
So let me. Okay, so
and because
this is,
you were exposed to like other
Yeah.
relationships and you realize that it's not just one person, that's why you're able to not see it as forever
as
for
like that.
everything.
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying because I
Yeah.
think I felt the same way when I only had dated you.
Yeah.
I felt that like there's no fucking possible way I could have these same feelings for someone else.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I thought you were like I could live my life with him. Like I could spend the rest of my life with him. There's no way there's someone else I could match these feelings. And there was.
Mhm.
And that was like it's still a shocker. And I still feel that in this relationship, I'm like, there's no fucking way. You fooled me once, but there's no
Yeah.
fucking way. There is someone, a third
Yeah.
person who I can feel these feelings with. But there probably will. And that's why I realized
crazy.
like love is crazy because it's still hard to comprehend that you could feel these intense feelings with someone else. And that's why the more relationships you get into, you realize like, okay, no one's like shit, bruh. Like
Yeah.
everyone, you have the
exactly.
same feelings with someone. It's just who do you want to choose?
And that's I think that's what, because I think there's a difference between the way that I used to think and the way I think right now. I think the way I used to think, it's like, oh, that's forever, nothing's gonna change. And I feel like a lot of people that's going through a first relationship feel that way. But after going through a bit, I'm starting to think that all love really is just like making that conscious choice.
Commitment to heal and grow together.
Exactly.
That's
It's,
so
it's just
good.
making
That's
that
so
choice.
fucking
Just
good.
keep on making that choice to stay together.
Yeah.
Like you acknowledge like there is people there, and then sometimes you come across opportunities or events where you kind of get tested, or like there's like a basically like a choice that you can make to
Leave or grow.
exactly, and I think that's what love is, where you still continue to be with that person. You choose, you make that
Despite their
conscious choice.
shortcomings. That's so true.
Yeah.
I forgot that that's
Mhm.
what I.
You still choose.
You're just choosing to be with
Yes, that's
I think that's like the premise, the principle.
But now, like what Thomas is saying is kind of worrying me because he's like right.
What?
Because it's like with this current relationship, like yeah, I said there's things like I don't see myself, but like I could choose to stay.
Yeah.
Like if we both do, I could be like, you know what, you have problems, but there's no one better, and like I want to stay and grow with you, whether that be like therapy, growing. And it's like you could do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up something what you just said. Like you said, there's no one better, so I'm gonna stay. But what if there is somebody better?
That's a dangerous mindset though, because I was thinking like,
No, the thing is,
That
if
is Gal's mindset.
if
What?
there is somebody better, and you love that person, you would still choose to stay.
yeah, if there's someone better, but you still want to stay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And that's where commitment issues show. Is like right now, let's say in this relationship, if I ask myself, am I willing to grow with them or take a chance that there's someone better? Like, which do I want? That's gonna be a hard decision.
Thing
if
is,
I
I
want
don't
to think
even-
about it.
I don't even know if there's like such a thing as somebody better.
Just somebody you're willing to deal with more.
Kinda.
But it's
or
so
like maybe
difficult.
just someone you might find more physically or emotionally attractive.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
something.
It's only one aspect. It's
Yeah.
like there's like this good like comparison or analogy that I've heard. It's like the person that you're staying with might have like 80% of your needs and wants, and then let's say that you come across a person that has that 20% that you're trying to look for. So if you choose to leave that 80% with that 20%, you're stuck with the 20%.
Yeah. You're taking a gamble. And that's what I was about to say. Like,
but is that even worth it?
Yeah,
20%?
each time you go into a new relationship, it's scary because what if you never find someone like this was the best? Like, what if 10 relationships I'm like, oh shit, that second one was the best I had. I fucked up. That's scary.
Oh god.
That's scary.
But yeah, like just going back to like the whole long-term and short-term thing. Like the reason why everyone feels long-term is because usually it's like their first couple of relationships. It's
Yeah, right.
like I feel like Kayla, since you haven't like experienced much of an actual relationship yet, that's why it's like it's hard for you to really understand the need for like a long-term thing. But as soon as you do, then it's like, oh, okay. And then you might go through this like little period where all you kind of look for is long-term until when you realize like you can love more than one person and more than one person can love you, then you'll be like, oh, okay, then you can go back to the short-term thing. But like, when you have your first love, that obviously kind of changes the trajectory of like the way you love and how you view relationships and stuff.
Oh wow.
But yeah,
That's so interesting. Honestly, like the way you and Mark speak about commitment is
crazy.
so crazy. Like I thought it was normal for me to think like this, but maybe it isn't. Or are you normal?
I
Am
thought it was normal for you.
Right?
Yeah,
Like, I thought it was
God, like when you're saying,
it's not that there's like a normal
yeah, that's
thing.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
But,
Oh shit, you guys are neurotypical.
What?
I don't know. This has been very eye opening.
It has been.
It's making me think.
And
a lot.
maybe the majority is able to commit because like my grandma dated one person and they're married.
That's crazy.
Like your parents too.
Yeah.
Like, is that normal?
maybe that's because of the time period.
That too. That's what I was thinking. Nah, I was like, it's the time period. I'm sure.
I feel like it is.
A little
more
bit of
because
it.
of-
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
But a
just
lot
higher
of people do
pressures.
end up marrying their first love.
That's
Really?
Yeah, because
again so pessimistic.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I'm so
really?
I mean,
pessimistic. I don't know.
it makes
Let's see
sense
what the data says.
because like when
Some people just don't want it.
no, because that's all
I see
they
what you
know,
mean,
and
yeah.
obviously if
Mhm. I
see
they're
what you
not
mean.
forced out of that relationship or like they,
Oh yeah,
it's manageable,
Yeah.
then they're
It makes sense.
there's no
There's
need
no
to
point.
think of
Mhm.
like there's something beyond
or
this.
even find out if there is. Because
yeah, because
to them there is.
This is the
This is it.
relationship.
Yeah,
That's
Wow.
all they know.
That's so good. That's top dollar right there.
Yeah.
That's top dollar,
And-
guys.
After being like in a relationship with like one person and like it ending, it's gonna take some time for you to heal from it. So give yourself the time,
Yeah, guys.
and then eventually you'll be able to love again and change your perspective on love and how there's not just one soulmate out there.
Yeah.
And
You'll
at
be
the same
surprised.
time, be honest with yourself. Like
Yeah.
you may say that, yeah, like I'm all good. Like I moved on. Like I'm okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
good.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Nah, like for real, ask yourself like why. I think that's like the main thing. Just ask yourself why.
Yeah.
Why what? Why you're with them, or why you're single?
Both.
No, I'm like talking about like after the breakup.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just,
Why it
just ask
happened.
yourself why.
That's good.
Just be honest with yourself.
That's really good.
You may lie to yourself like, yeah, I'm okay, but are
Maybe
you?
you're not. Are you?
Are you?
Hmm.
So yeah.
We got our eye on you,
Mm-hmm.
crying over someone. Good. If you're not, good. Anyways, guys.
Happy Valentine.
Happy Valentine's. Yeah, that was
you
a
guys have
lot
fun.
of
We
information.
just caused a
today.
lot of
I
breakups
know.
today.
You know what? We
We
should
just
break
caused
up.
a lot
I
of
listened to
crises.
Teenager Therapy, episode 176.
And Gal specifically said
34 or 5. He said. Yeah, this was a lot of information, so take it, synthesize, write a one-page
Yeah.
essay, MLA 12-point format, and please return it to us with what you
2
learned.
quotes.
Yeah,
please.
2 quotes at least from the
Yes.
podcast. What is Thomas's stance on long-term versus short-term relationships?
Dude, I was like saying so much shit. Good luck trying to find a quote.
Yeah, synthesize it. Thank you guys for listening. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you find the love of your life. Hope you commit. Hope you don't have commitment issues. Follow us on Instagram at Teenage Therapy. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.